New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you here on the New Thought Media Network. Another edition of And Now the Good News. And while we have quite a few good news stories to cover today with you, it would be remiss not to mention that there's some interesting news, or news that 60% of the population of America does not find to be good news, happening today. While this is an ever-evolving subject and a topic that is not the purpose of our program, we do stand in solidarity with women all across America and their right to choose how they deal with their own bodies. We may follow up on the good news of this story as it emerges. However, in the moment, I believe our job is to hold that there must be some good news coming out of this at some way in some time. I do believe you are going to see a mass mobilization of women and people across this country and perhaps across the globe stand up and be heard on this topic. If you have anything you'd like to share, please do so in the comments or send them over to our email address, goodnews@ntmedia.org. That's goodnews@ntmedia.org. All your emails will be read and responded to from a heart-centered and compassionate place. All right, let's get into then our good news stories this week, because there is still a lot of good happening out there. This story caught my eye. Houston is the fourth most populated city in the country, and it has reduced its rate of homelessness over the past decade by close to 63%. That is by far and away the best performing major city during the time. Their focus on putting people in houses, putting people in single people dwellings, and turning old hotel rooms and old motel rooms into housing. Everything they're saying is that these one-bedroom apartments, they're filling them as fast as they can, and then worrying about getting people jobs, getting them off of drugs, getting them mental health experiences that they need. The mayor, Michael Kimmelman, says that if someone's already drowning, it doesn't help to teach them how to swim first. And it appears to be working. 63% of the people there getting off of the streets. Good news in Houston. Our next story, another seeming trouble spot, hot spot in America, Flint, Michigan. This is the pastor of the Good Church in Flint, Michigan, Leo Robinson. Pastor Leo realized that during the pandemic, he did what a lot of churches did, and he started giving people food, and realized that when he listened to those folks, what they really needed was laundry and laundry facilities. His church is in a 4-mile radius before they get to a laundromat. And most of the people in his community use public transportation to get to where they're going. So I don't know about you, but I haven't had to do laundry on public transportation in a long time. And This is so I wouldn't want to be in their shoes for one moment. Pastor's doing good work. He currently has 8 machines up and running, and he and his wife have calculated the number of machines. They're hoping to be able to help at least 100 families on a regular basis with their laundry needs. Good work, Pastor Leo. Thank you for being part of the good news stories that we found this week. And folks, we find a lot of our stories over at the goodnewsnetwork.org. We encourage you to visit their site and give them the appreciation and the attention they deserve. They do a much better job than we do at curating these great news stories. We run over there and pull up some of them. We also get stories from other sources as well. We'll tell you about those. Sunny Skies is another one. And this story, our next story, is on both these platforms, different versions. Sunny Skies has their version, and Good News Network has theirs. But ultimately, here's what we know. A team of researchers along Greenland's southern coast have identified a whole new classification of polar bear. The polar bears have been genetically isolated for decades. And no other, they act different than sea polar bears. Now, these polar bears are living on the ice of glaciers as well. And so it's a genetically distinct subpopulation. And as of 30 years ago, they were thought to be extinct. Researchers have found proof that they are not extinct and doing well and adapting. There's a great video on the Good News Network that you can watch, and it'll give you more information on how the polar bears are doing. I love these types of stories because they share with us the diversity of life and the unity of life, and that over time, Mother Nature prevails. And you can see here by some of our charts that lots of information on where the bears have been tracked and how they're doing. Here's another great and interesting story I found this week. Now, remember, we look for all kinds of things, and this is from a story that we've covered in the past in different versions, and the idea has been out there for a while now. Fog nets. Well, they're working in Africa, and they're being tested for possibly relieving drought in California. This has now become a global effort, as well as in a desert in Chile. And it says here that in Chile, this desert it's never rained. They don't know of any identifiable rain in this region since we've been there. And these fog nets, which just capture the moisture that is floating in the air, it could be a very big game changer. This is an evolving topic and a subject. We've looked at a few of these stories over the last few years here on the Good News Network. So we invite you. Remember, before this was a video broadcast, it was a podcast as well. And we have a whole bunch of old episodes in our podcast archives. Search that out on any of your favorite podcast platforms, Good News, and now the Good News. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Let me grab a quick drink of water, share with you a little bit of some of the things we're involved with here at the New Thought Media Network. Please stay with us. We got more good news to come in just a moment. New Thought Radio. Positively inspiring tunes. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Listen anytime at ntmedia.org. New Thought Radio. Positively inspiring. And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network Friday evening. Thank you for joining us, folks. Now, those that have watched the show in the past or maybe listened to some of the old broadcasts know that we like to do a lot of technology, and we like to explore the various ways technology can impact our lives. And our next segment has a couple of different technology stories, but it also starts with a promise. And the promise is that the EU, the European Commission, plans to cut the use of chemical pesticides in half by 2030 to better protect health and help restore nature and heal nature. The European Union's executive arm also proposed a ban on all pesticide use in areas such as public parks, playgrounds, schools, hospitals, and other common areas. They say by 2030, half of the chemical pesticides should be replaced by alternatives with practices like crop rotation and technologies like precision farming. Commission Vice President Franz Timmermans told reporters in Brussels on Wednesday, we also propose to prohibit all pesticide use in sensitive areas, again, limiting schools, hospitals, parks, playgrounds, and others. Good work. Good news. It's one of the ways we're going to get there is taking the steps, making the pledges. Now, the article didn't exactly explain how they're going to do this, but that's a story we're going to continue to follow, and we'll be sure to be here in 6.5, 7 years and let you know how they're doing. We'll follow this story and keep up with it as it continues. Hey, here's one I just couldn't pass up. The flying car. This is Thomas Patton, co-founder of the Swedish firm Jetson. Yes, they called it Jetson. And yes, what you're looking at is known as the Jetson 1. Recently took a 20-minute commute from his home to work. He claims that you can learn how to fly this aircraft in as little as 5 minutes, thanks to their unique stabilizing platform. It's running on a high-discharge lithium-ion battery. Can carry a pilot weighing up to 210 pounds for about 20 minutes. Top speed, 63 miles per hour. Our long-term goal is to democratize flight. We firmly believe the eVTOL is the future for mass transportation and commit to making this a reality, said Mr. Patton. What an idea. Okay, now it's $83,000. You can order one, but not for 2022. The 2022 production is sold out already. You can order one of these for 2023, however, at just $83,000 US. What a neat idea. I don't have one, but I'd love to drive one. How much fun would that be? And it's electric. Hey, speaking of good news stories in the electric world, this is a story we have reported on previously as well here on the Good News Network, on New Thought Media Network and the Good News. An Italian startup has announced the successful launch of a CO2 battery that uses carbon dioxide to store renewable energy at utility scale on the grid. And the technology is now ready to be deployed worldwide. Energy Dome began its operations in February 2020 and has progressed from the concept to full testing of a multi-megawatt plant. They're testing and complete, and they're ready to put this out. Now, this is big news, folks. And as you can see from our picture here, all you need is a solar field and now one of these domes, an energy dome, and you can have a fully operational charging facility anywhere. One of the biggest things about limitations of EV vehicles has been the range And with this, we don't have to run wires, and it's all self-contained, and we can put up a charging station pretty much anywhere. Big technology, way bigger than I know what to do with, but still a good news story nonetheless. All right, we're going to take another quick break, let you know a little bit more about some of the other things that we're involved with, and come back with our final stories for the night. Stay with us. We've got more here on the Good News each Friday night. New Thought Media Network. We'll be right back. And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network. Thank you for being with us here on a Friday evening. I'm Rev Robert, and these are the good news stories that I hope will remind you that we're all in this together. And life does not end is not just about human life. We do a lot of talk about that today, but sometimes it's the furry creatures' lives that matter too. We want to introduce you to this amazing puppy dog, Kapata. I hope I'm saying that, by the way, which is Georgian for sausage, is a stray dog in the country of Georgia. And he has appointed himself the crossing guard for this young grade school class. He only does this on this street. He shows up in the morning and in the afternoon and helps them to cross the street and barks at the cars that break the rules. There's a cute little video that's emerged as well, showing him chasing down and barking at vehicles to keep them away from the crosswalk. What a great little story. I love these kinds of stories. They really do remind me there's good where we find it. There's good where we see it, and there's good where we make it and where we create it. Sometimes that good is in helping others. Sometimes that good is in showing others how we can progress and how we can evolve and grow as human beings. Our next story is about a woman who has been an inspiration, and I'm sure is going to continue to be an inspiration. I did not know about two-time Olympic competitor Nicola Spirig. I hope I'm pronouncing that as well. She recently crossed the finish line in a triathlon in under 8 hours. Now she is the first female Olympian to ever do that. Second woman to ever do it. The first woman crossed the finish line just ahead of her a little bit, but they didn't give us her name. Sometimes the good news comes in interesting packages. But a mother of 40 years old, has been competing in Olympic trials or in Olympic games, and is now smashing triathlete records. This is the story of human endurance. And what we do also know is this comes following a major bicycle accident last year that left her injured with 3 broken ribs, fractured collarbone, punctured lung, and other needs for healing. So she did all that, came back, and is doing great in the triathlons. Good work. Good work. I love stories of the human spirit. And our next story is exactly that. Wow. I hope if my kids ever need help, there's a young man like Anthony Zonger around. Anthony's 17-year-old classmate, Mia Samolinsky, accidentally stepped on the accelerator of her car instead of the brake and launched her car into a Long Island bay, into the bay off of Long Island, New York. The young man, Anthony, took one look at what was going on, ripped his clothes off, and jumped in the water. Went down to help her. She was in the back of the car, was trying to open the door. However, if you don't know, anytime your vehicle gets submerged, the doors are not going to open and the seat belts are not going to disengage. So you got to swim your way out. Anthony jumped on the front of the car, brought the back end up so there was an air pocket. She was able to escape out the back of the car, and everybody was okay. Good news stories happening all around the country. And folks, I trust, as I say, that if any of my kids are ever in a situation, I trust that they'll jump in to help someone. And I hope just as much that someone will jump in to help them if necessary. That's what we do as individuals. That's what we do as human people. That's what we do as good people, is jump in to help each other when the times need it, when it's necessary. And how do we know when those things are necessary? Well, I think we've been teaching that here in New Thought for quite a long time now. We listen to our intuition. A recent study in Britain of 2,000 adults found that over 70% say they trust their instincts, and over 35% experiencing a physical gut feeling about the situations. 1 in 5 turn to the feelings in their gut to tell them if something's wrong when it comes to their health, and 1 in 20 rely on their intuition to guide them when it comes to trusting a partner. 21% think their gut will influence their dreams if they're trying to be told something. We've known this work for quite a while, and it's wonderful to see more of these stories emerging in the mainstream news feeds. So I invite you to head over to New Thought, to head over to goodnewsnetwork.org. Give these folks some of the love and appreciation they deserve. Share their stories on social media. Now, of course, we want you to share our stories as well. We'd love for you to share with the network. And we want to get this word out. We want more and more of these demonstrations to be out in the world. Hey, I'm Reverend Robert. I'm almost out of here for the evening. But before I go, we want to share with you just a couple of things that are coming up here on the New Thought Media Network. We've got some new shows premiering real soon. July 1st, it's Practicing Infinite Possibilities with Lindsay Lembach. Calling this PIP. It's going to be Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time. We invite you to join us for that. Also coming up in the very near future, Choice, Your Creative Superpower with practitioner Zoe. This will be starting on Thursdays at 12 noon Mountain Time. And that's starting, I believe the date is the 30th here at the end of the month of June. And this Sunday, the premiere of The Miracle of Prosperity with Reverend Jim Webb, happening Sundays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm really excited Reverend Jim's going to be with us and anchoring in our Sunday experience. Remember, on Sundays, folks, we start with a great lineup. Rev Melissa with Spirit in Praise, Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown Atlanta, Center for Spiritual Living, Denver, and then our afternoon programming with New Thought Philadelphia and many other churches and centers. Just the talk throughout the afternoon. So plan to join us for that as well. I'm Rev Robert. I'm going to get out of here for now. Let you get into the rest of your Friday evening. But before I go, I invite you to be the light that you're here to be. Make sure you're shining that light wherever you may go, and share the good news with everybody you meet. Until next time, I wish you peace and richest blessings.